whilst intent data has its many advantages, some of those that we've already covered today, it's fairly old hat in the sales industry. Like we said, it's been around 5 to 10 years, and intent data doesn't necessarily in its own right provide all that much detail. So if I was to search on Google for how to increase my outbound efforts, and I read a blog and the blog's really great, I get some tips and tricks from it, and I start to employ those in my day-to-day, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be interested in buying that software. All I've done is transactional relationship. I've learned something. I'm going to take that and I am going to spend the next couple of weeks trying to work that into my day-to-day. But that, as I said, doesn't mean that I'm necessarily interested in that product or solution. And I think that's one of the fundamental, not necessarily flaws of intent data, but fundamental limitations of that intent data. So getting the right balance of that intent data, different levels of that intent is really, really key, which means that ultimately you're going to need various different other sources of information as well to stack that up again. So there's not really a black and white sort of picture of this person is very interested in the product with intent data, unless, of course, they come inbound requests and they put their hand up and said, I'd like to speak to you, at which point it is very black and white. But up until that point, just because someone's engaging with you on socials or looking at your website, it doesn't necessarily mean that they want your product. We have tens of thousands of people engaging with us on LinkedIn. I wish each of those 10,000 people were interested in buying our product. It would make our jobs a lot easier, but that's not the case.